What is up, y'all? It is Paristtmpped, Paristtmpped, Paristtmpped. I think the year was 2018 or 2017. Me and my dad had gotten into this really bad argument, and I didn't feel like I was being heard. I felt like I was being silenced and hidden from fucking society, like fucking Rapunzel. So I ran away. To like one of my friend's house. I think he lived like 10 minutes away. Keep in mind, it's nighttime. So I packed my bag. I couldn't bring it, so I just left. Walked over to High Point. I called up my friend like, hey, like, are you home? Like, can I come to your crib? I just ran away. He's like, what the fuck? So his grandma lets me in. I stay there the night, and I go to school the next day, and I go to school base, and I tell them my whole story of my life and the trauma I'm going through at my house, and then how I got sent to my dad's house, who's not even my dad, and how they just hid me away like Rapunzel, and I was just told to just stay silent, and that's what I did until I finally ran away. So then they did all this paperwork and had DYFS in that damn office by 9 a.m. So then I had got signed back into the system that I got adopted out of, and that was a very hard time in my life. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, because I got sent to this homeless shelter. And don't get me wrong, the shelter was amazing. I actually ended up liking it. I made some good friends there. We was eating good. It honestly was a good time, but I felt completely alone. I felt like I was giving up on. And my mom would come and they would visit and act like they weren't the reason I was there. It was a very confusing time. I felt like I was always around people that confused me. And at the time, I was in plays, so like they were trying to pull me out of school, but I was like, this is the only consistency I have. It was very interesting, that time, because it makes me realize, like, I saw a video recently of, I think it was Keith Williams or whatever, that dude that does like the food reviews, and he was talking about how one day him and his dad got into an argument and he like jumped off the fucking building. And I tend to forget that around like that teenage years, those teenage years are very depressing. And I don't think parents understand that. Parents don't understand that 14 through 18 time frame, everything you say matters. Send it to your parents. Everything you say matters. Every little thing you say matters. I took everything that my dad said very seriously. Now that I'm older, no, I still don't know where he was coming from. He still is in the wrong. I still feel like kids need a home, shelter, and protection. But I do feel like the way that he was trying to care and the way he phrased it made it seem like he didn't give a fuck. And I remember Keith Williams had said that. His dad was like, oh, you're doing this, I want you out of my house. You don't understand how kids internalize parents telling them they gotta go. Like, growing up, my mom would always threaten me with like, oh, I'm gonna send you to the home, to a group home. And in my brain, I'm like, then why am I here? One time, my mom had heard that I had curiosity about my bio mom, and she threatened to bring me to a group home because I guess she perceived that as me not being grateful. And I'm like, parents, I feel like a lot of the time it's just misunderstanding across the board. And usually later down the line, the parents be cool with the children. And you're like, oh, it's crazy that we had that traumatic ass moment. And it's usually just because of lack of understanding. Like, I feel like a lot of the times parents think that, their kids are doing shit on purpose. Kids, they think that they know what they're doing. My mom used to think that, oh, he know what he doing. Not really. This is my first rodeo being 16. It's one of those things where I feel like that kind of thought process, it kind of traveled into my adulthood. Because, I'm realizing, now that I'm an adult and I have kids talking to me, I'm like, if you don't be careful what you say, these kids internalize that shit and run away. And it sucks that a lot of times parents don't have like that thought. Adults don't have like that second thought in their brain. Like, you got to be careful what you say, because you will have that kid running away because they think they don't have anybody left. And I look back, I would do it 100 times over again. Unfortunately, because I did it, I lost my cat. I wasn't able to, I lost a lot because I ran away, but I also gained a lot. It made me realize that I didn't want to accept what I was dealing with at home anymore. I didn't want to keep living with a narcissistic mom and an abusive brother and crazy ass this. Like, shit, no heat, no air. I'm sleeping on the floor sometimes because my brother got to have my bed. It's one of those things where I lived in a very inconsistent, confusing ass home. So a lot of times, majority of kids do. And I just be wondering, why the fuck are parents having kids if they do not want them? And I got adopted, so that's real confusing. Like, why adopt? Like, you literally could have just left me. But unfortunately, I think it was for the money. So, my story is weird. My story is so confusing, and a lot of times it is. And it's the holiday season. I'm seeing a lot of people my ages. I'm seeing a lot of people who are my age alone and confused. And it sucks because it usually stems from that childhood when that parent said that one thing, and now they have internalized that their entire future. Because, for me, I met my bio mom later down the line. So I met someone who was also done wrong by the system, by adults, who was telling me, you were done wrong. This is just a part of sadly a part of the statistic. You know what I'm saying? And it helps me to not internalize my childhood anymore. But not everybody got adopted. Not everybody's parent isn't their parent. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of people my age wanting to get the fuck out of their house because their parent is traumatic as hell, saying the craziest shit and not realizing that shit gets internalized. It's a very interesting world, and if and when I have kids, I want to make sure I really focus on just pouring them with love, pouring them with possibility, and never making them feel like a burden. A lot of times parents make their kids feel like a burden because they feel like a burden. And usually it's just projection, yo. I cannot let that get to your head. When I was 16, when I ran away, it was something my dad was projecting. He was projecting frustration because of lack of control. And one thing about me is I hate feeling like a burden. Whenever I feel like someone thinks I'm a burden, I just leave because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And now when I do that, people think I'm like, it's sad because I still be doing that. Like, whenever I feel like a burden, I fade the fuck out. I be like this. And people are like, whoa, wait, it wasn't that bad. Like, you didn't have to do that. And I'm like, well, I don't know the definition of that bad or not, because I grew up with people, it was always that serious, even when it wasn't that serious. It's so interesting, man. I'm relearning everything that was taken from me in terms of knowledge, in terms of independence and love and everything like that. I had to relearn it all because I grew up in a very unstable home where I was told I had to be appreciative of the little that they were giving me, And I'm now learning that I deserve a lot more, and that I also don't have anything. Me losing family twice, I'm basically rebuilding my family, and I don't mind doing that, but it's just one of those things where I'm relearning a lot. I'm relearning a whole lot because of that shit. And one of the things I'm relearning is how to be open about it. I feel like, I grew up in a house where I couldn't tell anybody what the fuck was going on. I'm grown as shit now. You know what I'm saying? This is my way of healing my inner child, is realizing that it's okay. What happened isn't okay, but speaking of it is. Who the fuck gonna do what you gonna do? It's a lot of things that I'm unlearning as a human because of that, And I'm happy to see people on this channel who also are healing and being okay with opening up about what's going on. Shit, this comment section has no filter. Say what you want to say what you gotta say, because we all have these experiences that unfortunately no one is validating, and we have to kind of just live with it and move on. And though I'm okay with moving on with life, I do also feel like because of my past, I am who I am today. And I'm proud of it. I'm able to help people realize it's not the end. Don't allow words to bother you. My mom's words used to always hurt me crazy. And she always thought that I was going to one day, gang up on her and, cuss her the fuck out. Because that's what my brothers did. But I never was like that. I'm never the type of person to cuss out, an adult, or to make someone I would never treat somebody how they treat me. I gotta put a disclaimer. I would never cuss out an elder that don't deserve it. Yeah. I'll cuss out somebody. I'm tired of biting my tongue. But if you don't deserve it, why am I cussing you out? And she was always afraid I was going to treat her how she treated me. It's very interesting. And that's why she treated me worse and then let me go at the end. Because now I'm adult, I have awareness. The whole story's all fucked up. But the fucked up story makes the documentary make sense. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's kind of the end of the video. I wanted to just kind of tell y'all a little bit more about me and about the craziness that I've been through. I've lived a wild ass life. I have vlogs coming out of this whole time period of right now. So be on the lookout. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below. Dang. Let me think. Oh, wintertime. Comment down below wintertime. Because that is where we at right now. We're not in fall. Fall said fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Check out my music, please. Thank y'all for people who are listening. I just hit 100 listeners on Spotify. That's amazing. That was my happy dance. Because I can't really dance. It's too cold. If you have any questions about like adoption, running away, all that kind of crazy shit, comment down below. My shelter experience was crazy. I want to tell y'all all those story times.